2019 or 2019 underway. A lot of people do shop tours at the start of the year, I've noticed. I'd like to do that, but I haven't got a shop. If you've seen my videos, I work in the backyard, but I'll show you some of the stuff I've got, and because I started clearing out one of the sheds where I had things stored. Like behind me here, laundry, I've got materials and that sort of stuff, tools and that installed in there, and what's going to be a renovated rumpus room type thing. Some of the things that I'm working on right now, I got this coffee table my wife found a few years ago, and it was an old country style one which I fixed up all that, and we had cushion on top, and now it wants to be changed again, so I'm going to be trimming it down and flush trimming the top, putting some glass on it. So that's something I'm going to do this afternoon. After having stacks and stacks of rain, we had a hot day which I painted inside, put up the TV. Then we had another rain, and now we've got stinking weather where it's too hot to do anything. So it's now like 4 something in the afternoon. Let me show you a bit around. So I work with a lot of reclaimed material, quite a lot, even with renovations and things like that. And there was a reclaimed audio episode a while back, and Bill Lutz said, when you get into reclaiming, don't become a hoarder. I think I failed there. I've got so much stuff here, like not just the pallets, which made good storage areas for a lot of the reclaimed stuff, but in amongst that I've got a lot of hardwood, some Oregon glass, some granite that I've picked up places, which I'll want to think of something. I know I could probably do a sharpening station with that now. But yeah, so this is my workshop space. Yeah, more hardwood. Oh no, sorry. That's treated pine stuff. The hardwood over there next to the shed that I built and for storage. We don't have a garage. This small shed here, this was here when I bought the place, and if you can notice up here, I've actually had one of the neighbour's trees drop branches and went through the roof a while back. It's just a small garden shed, and there's no power out here, but I started cleaning it up a bit about a week ago, because you couldn't get into it, to be quite honest. But in here I've got some things that I wish I used a lot more of, like this workbench here, this big thing with it's got a nice leg vise on it, and a metal vise. This belonged to my pop, and I got that when he passed away a while back, and it was just before I came here, and so it's been here. This is his grinder, and so I'll run an extension lead if I want to actually do any sharpening of tools, which I use it for. This little belt sander, I had forgotten I had. It was sitting in a box down underneath here, and I picked that up from my ex-grandfather-in-law many years ago. I've just got to get a belt onto it so I can use it, and I've seen a lot of people using those, like lift it up. It's got a little table with a bevel on it, so I'm hoping to use that. Some people may have seen this in any of my videos before. This little drill press was being thrown out at my school. It was the GA's, and he said, oh, it's broken, I don't want to use it. And I said, well, I'll take it. And it was, the broken part was it didn't have this little tensioning nut, so I made one, and I had that on my Instagram. And also in here, a compressor which I use. I bought that a few years back. The mulch, if you've seen that in any of my videos, that I picked up off the side of the street, and it was just dirty and rusted up. I took it apart, cleaned it. Best mulch I've ever had. An ongoing job. 1964 Honda Sports Cub 54cc, I think. It belonged to originally my grandfather's dentist. He dropped it, it stopped working, asked my pop to try and fix it. It wouldn't work. He passed away and my pop got it. I picked it up. I can't get it to run, but I'm sure I'll figure it out one day with all the new mechanical knowledge I've developed with my van. We'll get to that. This big bench here, metalworking bench from my first school I worked in, 8 foot long and 2 foot deep, as heavy as all buggery. Couple of storage things. I haven't got much in at the moment. Like I said, I've been cleaning up in here. I put some shelves in it, got some tools in there. These were good. They're at the old library card before Google, when you used to go into a library and look up the catalogue. This was the library catalogue, and it came from my last school as well. When they decided that the library catalogue wasn't being used and everything was online, they got rid of the library catalogue and I grabbed the drawers. And it served me really well for keeping all my screws and nails and that sort of stuff. But having been out here in the shed of the Blue Mountains, and the amount of moisture we get here and the humidity, all the particle board and everything that was inside it has just swelled, chipped and broken it. So I'm going to go through this and sort out all the stuff I've got to decide if I still need it. I'm saying I'm a reclaimer. I built this in one of my first couple of years of teaching, just out of some old science drawers, and it's one thing that I made to store tools in. A couple of the drawers are over in the laundry with some tools I've got in there. I think my biggest thing that's out here that I really regret not having done anything with before now. Oh, sorry, I just had a squirrel moment. ADHD. Dragonfly's just come in here and he's hovering behind the camera. He's gone. Hang on, I'll regroup. I mentioned hoarding. I've got an incessant, penchant for picking up stuff off the side of the road. It's especially since I bought the van. Well, that's been ridiculous. The old Ryobi blower that was on the side of the road, and it works. Doesn't suck as a vac, but it blows. And I've got a couple of weed whackers which are petrol versions, and they work for a bit and they're not working now. My old one's down there. I've got a chainsaw that I picked up off the side of the road, which was an electric one, and it just needed to be sharpened. It was perfect. But underneath this is one of, I should say, it's obviously not prized because of the neglect that it's gotten, but means something really close, and I'll get this stuff off here and I'll show you. So now they got the stuff out of the way. This poor old thing here, my grandfather's South Bend metal lathe. There. I remember years and years and years of being a kid and going and fiddling around with the dials and playing with it, and he had it in a tiny little workshop that's actually smaller than this. He had that against one wall and then the other bench on the opposite wall, and it was almost like a little galley kitchen. But when he passed, nobody wanted this, and I couldn't believe it. And one of my cousins tried selling it on eBay and nobody bought it, and they were going to scrap it, and I just couldn't bear the thought of that happening. So in 2006, when he passed, I got it, and this was his bench that it sat on, which I'm pretty sure he built with its old little interesting switching setup. has the motor mounted behind it, and it's got a pulley and belt set up for changing the belt speeds. It's one of those old, really old fibre belt numbers. But when I came out here and I was cleaning this up, and I did have a big like blanket and tarp over this, and I just found all the stuff that was out here that I'd forgotten about because it had been out here and basically buried. So, my very bad. There's all that, and all these cutting tools and that sort of stuff, and so I've just done an upgrade course for work in engineering metals, and it's reignited my want to do stuff with metal. He also had a habit of giving me some of his old tools. They're very original, very old Black and Decker drill. Stanley jigsaw. I don't know if I'd trust them, but I think if getting this running, I'd have to look at rewiring it, because some of the wiring is incredibly old. But yeah, I've got all the manuals for it as well, so it's like, yeah, this is something that I don't think, no matter where I go, this is going to be following me. Just thought I'd have a look at what was down in the bottom, because I knew that I had a lot of my pop's tools down here as well. A lot of his machining stuff, all his tap and die sets and things like that, and some of his micrometers and things. Actually, I think I've got some more of them in the laundry area where it's not so open to the elements. But you'll notice a theme with me in science lab drawers. Seems both the schools I've been in, they refurbish the science labs and rip out all the old drawers, and they just want to chuck them, but they're really good plywood drawers. But I've been watching some restoration videos, and one of them was of the little hand clamps, and I knew that my pop had some of these. I've just spotted 3 in here straight away, so I may end up having some restoration videos happening in my future of my channel. Considering these have been sitting here for over a decade, still moves, it's not bad. But this is all of the extra attachments for the lathe, because I can see the tool post in there, and some centers and live centers and drive centers and Jacob's chucks and steady rests and all that sort of stuff. So I'll probably be doing another video just on that and the lathe. Maybe if I end up doing some restoration on the lathe, if I get a chance to, in amongst renovations and stuff, because renovations kind of should be taking precedence. And I do have a lot of other tools that belong to my grandfather, which they're in boxes, and I really would like to use them. So I think that'll be a future video too. So I'm hoping that people are interested in seeing that. I'll share it anyway. It's there in the background. That's my grandfather's old stick welder, and I learned to stick weld first, so I can do stick and MIG and gas welding, like as in oxy welding. But I've got my pop's old stick welder, and it works well. Problem is, it requires 15 amps, and I don't have a 15 amp circuit here, so I'll put it onto a safety box and I'll use it. Like when I built the gate, welds for a little while, you got to turn it down and it sticks, and you turn it up, trips the switch. This is a better view of the compressor I've got. I use this for all my spraying and using all my nail guns and that sort of stuff, whether it be construction or cabinetry work. bought this one in a hurry because I did have a really big one, and the motor ended up burning out on it. And I was in the middle of painting the house. So I had to run out and grab this one, and it's done me pretty well. It's a direct drive. I think it's somewhere between a 40 or 60 litre. I think it's a 40. But it does the job really well. So that's basically it, except for the fact that I've got more hoarded junk than I care to admit to. But I am. I'm going to get on with doing this coffee table, and I'll probably do another one showing a bit more of what my tools are, because in my videos you'll see me in my school workshop as well as stuff here, so big difference between some of the tools I use and some of the ones I've got here are very DIY. So I'll do that on another video. I hope you've enjoyed this one. I will try and make sure I edit it so it's not too drag on, and I'll cut out my ums and edit it well. Thanks for watching.